how small and grey this country seemed compared to its empire. The 19-year-old Sardar, Ikbal Ali Shah, had crossed the whole of England, from its southern capital all the way into Scotland, and it had scarcely taken a day. The train had left London's King's Cross station at only 10 that morning. By the time it arrived in Edinburgh, the clock had just struck 6:30. Back in India, 8 hours on a train would scarcely carry one across Punjab, let alone the length of the country. Though it was the famous Flying Scotsman, this train seemed hardly any faster than the Imperial Indian Mail. Still, it was finally pulling into its destination, where the Gothic lettering on a platform sign spelled out Waverley Station, in reference to the novels of Sir Walter Scott, widely read at the Anglo-Oriental college that Ikbal had recently left. The novels presented Scotland as a land of magnificent mountains, but the uplands Ikbal had passed along the way would scarcely be called hills in India. They were nowhere near as high as the Hindu Kush, that once enclosed his ancestors behind stone walls that nudged the clouds from the sky. Surely Sir Walter hadn't lied. Stepping outside, the sun had already disappeared. It was early October, and here in the Empire's northern reaches, the night came quickly. Outside the station it was cold, not the alpine chill of Indian hill stations, but a different sensation. Like wind, but wet and immobile, as though the weather were actually touching you. The streets were almost as busy as those Ikbal had briefly seen in London, but the pavements were much narrower. How could everything be so small in Great Britain? 2 years earlier, in 1911, when George V had laid the foundation stone for his new Indian capital, New Delhi, locals were awed at the scale of the grand avenues being laid out, thinking Britain's own cities must be even larger. But they were not.